Welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. We're going to get our game hunting on. And remember, y'all, Retro ReWire game tours, Akihabara, other areas of Japan, link in the description. And today, we're going to be hitting up 2 locations, both in Saitama, Japan. And remember, when you're out game hunting, safety first. Here I'm stopping for a pedestrian. But anyhow, this is what it feels like in Japan. It's super hot currently. But whatever, let's go ahead and go inside to the OFF Plus here, and we're gonna start at the showcase. And at a glance, it looks a little bit bare bones, but nonetheless, we're gonna be doing a deep dive and see what kind of goodies that we can find. Here we have PlayStation 5, PS4, even a PlayStation 2, and then down below, we got the PlayStation VR headset. Here's the PS2 with the discount of 1,000 yen, and then we got a PS4 Pro and a PS5 here for 46,800. The one down below is actually discounted by 1,000 because it's scratched, but that's not actually too bad. And you know, if those are the things that interest you, you could definitely ask a clerk and they will open it up, and then you can check the condition for yourself. And the Switch here is going to be no different. A lot of these are going to have like that little yellow tag discount. But here we got a new 2DS for 14,000. Not a bad color, but I actually prefer this lime green looking one for the same price, but that one has a 500 yen discount. And then here we have a number of Wiimotes of both in the Mario and Luigi. We got our GameCube controller here for the Switch, and now we're gonna make our way into the games. And the thing about this display case is they actually had quite a bit of Famicom. You know, here we have Galaxian, Rockman 4, we got the hockey game, we got Adventure Island, Mighty Bomb Jack, and a few of those, as you will notice, do have the yellow tag. Bomberman, Rockman 3, ActRaiser 3. Unfortunately, these games, the way they're merchandised, we can't really see the price or what they really are. Some of you may recognize the labels, but I'm having a tough time there. And then we have Turtles in Time, severely sun-faded for 27,000. And they actually had another copy behind that Gundam PSP game, and that's another copy of Turtles in Time with the same defect, severe sun-faded. We got Legend of Gaia for 6,300. Now the stack of Famicom games, we got Mario USA, Fire Emblem, Mother 2, and a wrestling game. And then we have Fire Emblem for the GameCube, 6,300 yen with a 200 yen discount. And then here we have some more Famicom games with Rockman 3 coming in at 1,800, Doraemon at 2,300. Now the one thing about this place is they had a ton of limited edition, collector's edition, special editions for the PS4 and the Switch. Here we have a Legend of Heroes one coming in at 9,000 yen. This is the complete box to part 4 of Legend of Heroes. We got Bayonetta 3, Trinity Masquerade Edition for 4,500. We have Cotton for 6,300, and then Sakura. I believe this is Sakura Wars for PS4 for 2,300. And then here we have Sonic Colors, the Ultimate Edition, which includes a coin for 4,100. That was for the PS4. We have Eastward for 5,000 yen. But yeah, quite a bit of special or collector's editions there. We got Shredder's Revenge. We got Shin Megami Tensei 5 for 3,900 yen. And the Switch is going to be this place's, bread and butter, as well as the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. I think retro gaming at this location is not really a priority for management. And, you know, that's okay because there is still a few things to browse through. But here we got this Little Big Planet Collector's Edition with a little Sackboy doll. I totally forgot that the PS4 got Little Big Planet. And then this is Undertale's, the Collector's Edition. And then we have Valkyria Chronicles 4 for 1,500 yen. This is for the PlayStation 4. That's not actually a bad price. Now, there's another edition that includes like the tank. And I haven't seen that one for a while, but this is the first time seeing that one. And look at this, 100 yen for Vanquish on the PS3. Now, this did get an update on the Xbox One, Steam, as well as the PlayStation 4, and it's running at a full 60, but that PS3 one isn't bad. We got Unreal Tournament. It's been a minute since I've seen that one. We got the Dark Souls with Arturius of the Abyss edition, which includes the guide and the soundtrack map and the game. Now, let's take a quick browse here through the PlayStation Vita stuff. Now, there's a few PlayStation Vita games that I want to end my collection. I don't have a very big collection of Vita games, but still, nonetheless, it's a great little handheld with a lot of cool action games, I feel. But here's one that I'm kind of interested in, and this is a fighter, the DC Universe one, and I wonder if that one is any good. But we got some Katamari here for 1,100 yen. That's not actually too bad of a price, actually, to be honest. And I think with the touch controls, this system or this version of the game could be pretty good. Now, this is like pretty much what you have for the old retro software. And it's going to be a lot of what you expect, but nonetheless, we will take a look at a few titles, but we're not going to focus too much because there wasn't anything too spectacular. But we have Final Fantasy VI for 1,800 yen. That's not actually too bad of a price. Next to that, we have Ranma 1/2. Now, I had the North American release, which was Hard Battle. This is the sequel, and I remember seeing the sequel in the pages of EGM, and I always wanted to play it because I had such a great time with Hard Battle. But kind of regret not picking that one up, but I'm sure it'll resurface. Here we are. We're going to take a look at a few GameCube games, and a lot of these are going to be with the little red label for various reasons. And part of it could be because they just want to get rid of the old software, perhaps, because it's just not moving quite a bit. Here we have Mickey and the Magic Mirror for 480 yen, and it looks like it has a Game Boy Advance compatibility. And then we have Biohazard Zero for 270 yen. That's definitely the lowest that I've seen this game at. And what do we have here? The King of Fighters 2002. Now, this is actually more expensive than the version that we saw in Akihabara by 100 yen. And then we have Bass Landing 3 for 900 yen. And this one actually looks pretty good. Kind of a hipster type of fishing game. At least that's the vibe I got. But here are the books. We got the Biohazard Archive Volume 2 that covers the years 2002 through 2009, and it's coming in at 2,050 yen. And here we'll just flip through the pages so you can kind of get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. And this one was a little bit tempting because I am a hardcore Biohazard fan. And then here we have the Elden Ring Navigational Guide, or Navigation Guide, as they're naming it. And then we have Devil May Cry 3, the sound DVD book, Raising the Devil. And this one is coming in at 700 yen. And they had a number of books. They had one on SNK, Kiss of Fire, as you can see there. Maybe not, but a lot of stuff here. What do we have? Kingdom Hearts, the Memorial something. And that's coming in at 1,446 yen. But guys, Book Off Plus, these are going to be my pickups. I got a movie, Donkey Kong Country 2, and then Okami on the PS3, which includes the soundtrack. Now, I went across the street because it's time to get our grub on, and we're going to be hitting up Kona's Coffee Hawaiian Pancake Cafe. Look at this. They got the palm tree and a few tropical plants. You could eat outside. I don't recommend that in this heat, but here we are. Now, I'm going to order a cheeseburger because it's been a minute since I've had one, and it was actually quite tasty. But here we are just looking at the menu so you can kind of get an idea of their prices, and I elected the Kona cheeseburger, keeping it safe here with these nice tasty fries. And look at that burger, so juicy, which actually wasn't too bad. And this place is a franchise, and you'll find them in numerous places in Japan. So here we are. We're gonna make our way into the next location, adding a little bit of dramatic editing here, but don't worry, the bus or the train comes fairly often, and we're gonna hop on and make our way to Miyahara Station. And there we are boarding, and the next stop, Miyahara. And this is a little, just like a suburb, a residential area, and there's not much going on here. Really, the only thing that brought me out here was just the game store that we're going to be hitting up. And remember, carry water, especially if you're walking at this time of year. It's so hot out there. And here we go. We got the Momotaro Kingdom supported by Surugaya. Let's go ahead and make our way inside, and we're going to take a quick tour. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that this place is empty. I'm always coming at the right times. I'm getting lucky here. But definitely, let's take a tour here and kind of see what we're getting ourselves into. And this is the game section that we're going to start off in. But before we do our deep dive here, let's take a look at other areas of the store. Now, the figure section was definitely far, far larger than what we're going to see with the video game section. I mean, look at this. They had all sorts of stuff to like do repairs, your own models like paint and supplies, and of course just like box figures everywhere. And they had a number of showcases, so there could be some pretty rare stuff, especially if you're into collecting all sorts of figures. Here we have some One Piece stuff. Next to that, we got some Dragon Ball Z, and they also had a number of Pokemon cards. Now, it's kind of interesting because in the news lately, they've been reporting that there has been an increase in theft over these Pokemon cards. And some of these are actually super, super expensive. But anyhow, let's get back to the gaming action. Here we have the Switch section. We're not going to be doing a deep dive, but just wanted to show it off, you know, because some of you could be looking for the Japanese Switch games, as well as PlayStation 4 and PS5 and PS2. Now, the PS2 section was very, very impressive, I felt. And we're not going to go too much into detail, but, you know, they had Nights into Dreams, and they had quite a bit of fighting games like this Fist of the North Star coming in at 4,500 yen. I hear a lot of great things about that fighting game. And I'm mainly going to be showing fighting games because I guess that was kind of the mood that I was in. But yeah, they had a lot of action games, a lot of racing games, a lot of role-playing games, and more fighting games, as you can see there. But here we go. Hello. And we have our first showcase. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do our deep dive. And we see a lot of Neo Geo CD titles, a few loose Famicom cards. We got Battletoads there for 9,300 yen. Then we got that detective game for the Famicom at 5,400. And then up above with the Neo Geo CD, we got The Last Blade coming in at 6,800. We got Top Hunter for 7,700. And then that cool looking World Heroes. Look at that mean cover art for 9,000 yen. Now, a few of you right away, I'm pretty sure you're going to be feeling like the prices are too high, but you know, that's just to be expected. I've been going to a lot of these places. I hit up actually quite a bit of game stores on a weekly basis, maybe like 7 or 8. And some of the pricing here is definitely going up for various reasons. You know, the weakening yen, the economy, like the demand for certain games. But this place is, I guess, kind of middle of the road in regard to its pricing. And then we got Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for 5,500 yen. We got KOF 2, 21,000 there for just the big old AES card. And then we have Klonoa Midnight Museum coming in at 11,000 yen. Now, you're going to see a lot of labels here, and that's just kind of describing what's the issue with the game. But it doesn't really go into detail because sometimes it just says like there's damage to the box, damage to the manual. But if you're interested, you know, speak with the clerk. They will show you the game, and they're going to open it up, and then you can examine it for yourself and make the final call. Here we have Sonic 3 for 6,600 yen, 2 copies of Dai Makaimura, Gunstar Heroes for 11,000 yen next to Aladdin for 5,500. And then we have Thunder Force 3 there. And then the one with the red spine there, Fatal Fury 3 for the AES, 14,500 yen. That's definitely the lowest that I've seen it, and that's not too bad. But I decided that I'm not going to be getting that game. I'm going to be focusing on the ones that I really, really want and, you know, just kind of forget about the filler. But here we go with our Game Boy Advance. We got a lot of Pokemon. We got some Zelda there for the Game Boy Color. And then next to that, we got World Heroes 2 Jet for 10,000 yen. And I definitely like that cover. And from the looks of it, the box is fairly clean. We got some more Ranma 1/2. And then we got Rockman World 4 for 9,000 yen next to Tiny Toon Adventures 2 for 5,900. And then we got Metroid Zero Mission and Fusion for 14,000, 13,000. And yeah, Fusion, that's definitely one that I would love to play. I haven't played that one yet. But what else do we got? We got Mother 1 and 2, Fire Emblem for the Advance. Up above, we got a Super Game Boy 2 for 4,000 yen. We got Zelda DX there for the Color. Rockman World Part 4, another copy for 10,000 yen. And then some more Pokemon action for the Game Boy Color as well as the original Game Boy. Look at all that stuff, actually. I wonder if those games are pretty good. They're definitely in demand. And then we got some PlayStation 1. Don't recognize some of these titles, but we got Burning Rangers for 5,600 yen. Look at this one. Something Monsters. Gangway Monsters for 4,200. We got Galaxy Force 2, KO the Flying Squadron for 25,300 yen next to Bubble Symphony. Now, here in the back, they have Rockman 8 for 7,300. Next to that, we have Street Fighter 2 Dash, which is Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold for 9,900 yen. And I've been looking for that one for quite some time. And that was actually really nice to see that game, but I didn't pick it up because I'm actually focused. I'm looking for specific games at the moment. But then, what is this Engancho for the PS1? Kind of an interesting. We got Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter there for the PS1. A couple of Wizardry games for the PlayStation 1. Namco Anthology for 6,500 yen. Then we got In the Hunt, the Namesake, and next to the Shooting Battle, Kyokoku Tiger for the PlayStation 1. And look at that semi game for the PS1. I've seen that one before. We got Konami Antiques. We got R-Types. And then we got Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition for the PC Engine for 2,700 yen. And then we got Super Valis 4, I believe, for 7,000 yen. Or I forget which one that is, but here we go, making our way into some Dreamcast titles. We got Napletail. What else do we have? Something and Tide. And then we got Sonic Adventure 2 for 6,600 yen. And that also includes a coin, just like Sonic Ultimate Collection for the PS4 and Switch. And then we have Eve Zero. And then we were making our way into more PC Engine. We got Gate of Thunder there for 9,500 yen. That's actually a great shooter. And then we have Lunar Eternal Blue for 3,700. Look at this, Lord of Sword for 4,000 yen for the Master System. I do like that cover, and it makes it seem like it's a promising game. And then we got some Game Gear titles. We got Shining Force and Fatal Fury Special. That one's coming in at 9,000 yen. And then here we go. We're going to make our way into the Famicom titles. I'm not really sure what that one is, but it has a cool cover by Jellico. Then we have some Konami game. Look at Goemon there for 8,500 yen. We got Ninja Gaiden 3 for 16,000. What else do we have? We got Adventure Island 2 next to Twinbee. Then we have The Legend of Zelda. We got some Turtles action coming in at 11,500 yen. Then we got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's definitely one that I want to pick up. And then look at that game above Makaimura. That one looks interesting. Haven't seen that one before. Or maybe I have. And then look at the cover to Solstice. That thing looks mean. And then we have F-Zero X coming in at 4,000 yen, 13,000 for Sin and Punishment. It looks like there's some damage to the manual. Here we have Mischief Makers, and that one's coming in at 5,300 yen. And then right in front of it, blocking the price there, is 007 for 2,200 yen. And then up above, we got Dracula X for the Super Famicom, and then we got Super Metroid. Now, Dracula X damage to the manual and the box coming in at 21,500 yen. That's definitely a game that I want to prioritize because it's getting more and more expensive, like I guess like everything else. Here we have Final Fight Guy for 12,000 yen, and it looks like it does include the CD, but there is damage to the box and the manual. Which I thought that, 12,000 yen. I think when we saw it at Retro Game Camp in the previous episode, it was like almost 40,000 yen. So that's definitely a huge price difference. What is that? Terra Enigma there for 6,800, and then Castlevania 4 for 7,400 yen. Again, damage to the box and the manual. Here we got a rewritable cart, a loose card of that Terra Enigma. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And then Live Alive for 2,900 yen, which not recently, but it did get a Switch release. And then Doom for 7,700 yen, and that's going to round out the showcase. Let's look at some games for the Super Famicom, the Famicom, and the Mega Drive. We'll start with the Famicom titles. And this is, what is it? Oh gosh, Genki, I forget, but it's also on the PC Engine, and it's a great game. What else do we have here? We got Mappy Kids for 2,400 yen. That one looks kind of interesting. I kind of would like to try it. It's kind of funny because when I first started in the hunt, Retro ReWire, I had no interest in the Famicom, and I would often state that I wasn't really going to be collecting for it. And here I am, getting deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole of all things Famicom. And I didn't grow up with the Famicom, so I have zero nostalgia for it. But here we go. There's another copy there of Super Mario Bros. 3. That one was actually 2,000 yen, which I would like to pick up a copy of that. Definitely a classic title. Here we got some more Mark III Sega Master System titles. And feel free to pause. You can run the translator and you can kind of see what they have. And then look at that Donkey Kong Country, 4,200 yen. I believe that's like a launch title. We got Rockman 5 for 3,500 yen, but there is some damage and it could be hardcore. And then here we got Super Mario RPG for 2,800 yen. That's going to have a Switch release sometime this year. Then we have Cho Makaimura for 5,500 yen next to Twinbee. And look at that, 4,600 yen. We got copies of X2. And that's coming in at 4,400 yen. That's another game that I want to pick up a copy of. And then Final Fight for the old Super Family for 3,900 yen. Damage to the box and the manual. And then we have Goemon Part 3 here. And it looks like more damage to the box and the manual for 3,800 yen. And they also have Part 2 for 3,800 yen. Part 2 is freaking awesome. And then we have Bonk 2 for 3,600 yen. And a lot of these games, as you see, they all have the damage to the box and the manual. But, just take it up to the register. They'll open it up. You can check it out. And you can do the final check as I keep restating here. But anyhow, let's make our way down the line. What else do we have here? Some Puzzle Bobble for 3,000 yen there for the Super Famicom. That's a great little series. I have it. I have one for the PlayStation 1. And then we have Kirby 3 for 3,300 yen with the big hole in it. And I got crazy and I picked that up because I'm just really curious about the game. I don't really care about the condition too much. But 4,000 yen for F-Zero X outside of the case. But yeah, old Kirby 3. It's not too bad of a game, actually. I beat the first section, the first world, and I'm making my way down to the second. And then we got some Super Valis there for the Mega Drive next to Darius Extra Edition for 6,800 yen. Now this Extra Edition, is this like a re-release of some sort? But anyhow, let's take a look at some Mega Drive titles. We got Sonic the Hedgehog for 2,300 yen. Now this one has a few graphical enhancements, mainly parallax scrolling there with the clouds. But we got, look at the cover to Phantasy Star 2, 3,300 yen. This is an absolutely stunning cover art. And the back cover art, look at that. That's beautiful artwork there. Phantasy Star 2, very impressive. And we got some Koei action. This is also has some pretty sweet cover art, look at that. I believe that's Koei. And then we got Thunder Force 2 for the Mega Drive for 3,300 yen. That one looks kind of interesting as well. And then we have Elemental Master for 2,500 yen, but it is missing the manual. I have this actually I have the North American equivalent, and it's not actually too bad of a game. And then we have a loose card of Thunder Force 4 there, and a whole bunch of loose cards for the Famicom and the Super Famicom. Now I'm not going to go too much into detail here, just because, you know, this could really make the video like hours and hours long. 3,700 yen there for Final Fight Guy. Sonic Wings for 5,500 yen. Not really sure what this is, and it looks like they have two copies, one including the manual. But here we go. We got some Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, regular Game Boy. All the stuff is here. Now I almost picked up this Kirby Part 2 for 1,600 yen, but it was missing the tray, and I could only do one game that's severely damaged. Well, I guess that's not damaged, just missing the tray, which I believe you can order from AliExpress. But let's go ahead and go down the aisles. We got our 360 and Xbox One titles here, as well as original Xbox. And then Project Sylphid, 3,600 yen. Now the one on the Sega CD is a beautiful shooter. And then we have Raiden 4 for 4,100 next to Ridge Racer 6 for 1,000 yen. That's a great racing game. And then we got Steel Battalion there next to Panzer Dragoon Orta for 2,300 yen. Now that does include the soundtrack. And then Jet Set Radio Future for 2,000 yen. I hope that gets like a re-release, some kind of remaster. As you know, the original one, Jet Set Radio, did get one on the PlayStation 3, 360, and the PlayStation Vita. And now PS1 titles, we got Discworld. I haven't seen this one before. We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. This is an absolute classic for 2,100 yen. We got this variety game by Konami. Next to Sailor Moon Super S. That's a fighting game for 3,500 yen. And Something Syndrome. And there's a lot. They had a lot of PlayStation 1 games that I haven't seen before. I haven't seen that one. As well as this one by Hamster, this Battle Master for 2,100 yen. I wouldn't mind trying this, but it is super budget. In fact, when it was released, it was MSRP of 1,500 yen. Then we got Bloody Roar 2 for 4,900 yen. It's another one that I would like to try. Not really sure what that one is. We got Marvel vs. Capcom, the EX edition for 4,500 yen. And we got some more titles that I haven't seen before. And then Langrizzer 1 and 2, the compilation. And a few Rockman titles here. We got Part 3 or Rockman X3 coming in at 1,900 yen. That's definitely the lowest that I've seen it. And 600 yen for X4. That's definitely a new low. And then we got this racing game for 1,400 yen, which is a part of one of the, I think, the Rockman X anthology. And then we have this great run and gun 1 for 2,100 yen. Then Shake Kids, this is one that I haven't seen before as well. I wonder what kind of game that is. But yeah, a lot of new discoveries for the PS1. Then we have this Super Adventure Rockman interactive movie type of game for 3,800 next to EX Plus Alpha, and Street Fighter 03 for 900 yen. That's actually a good price. And then this budget release of Silent Hill. I definitely like the cover there. Definitely better than the original vanilla release. And then we have Gradius Gaiden for 4,400. And then Goemon. I hear this one is like one of the better ones for the PS1 for the Goemon games. Then we have Warcraft 2, Einhander for 4,000 yen. And then another title, never heard of this, Look at that. That one looks really interesting. 1,200 yen for Capcom Generation 2, the Ghouls and Ghosts collection. And then Fist of the North Star for 2,300 yen with the Obi card. And then we have this oddity, this Beetle Simulator type of fighter by Jellico. I haven't seen this one before, but it definitely caught my attention. Kind of interesting. Now let's make our way into the PlayStation Dreamcast titles. We got Sonic Adventure International Edition for 2,600 yen. Capcom vs. SNK for 700 yen. That's not too bad of a price. Come on. What else do we have? Virtua Striker 2 for 300 yen. I definitely love that one. And then Virtual Athlete 2K. Haven't played that one before. And then we have Layer Section for 2,400. X4 for 3,800. Definitely a difference in price between the PS1 version. We got Real Bout Special there. We got Last Bronx. And this one's coming in at 900 yen. That's actually a pretty good 3D fighter for the old Saturn. 2,700 yen for Die Hard Arcade, and then Sonic Racing for 2,200 yen. Definitely one that I want to pick up. The soundtrack is pretty crazy, but I actually kind of enjoy it. It's a little bit catchy in a cheesy kind of way. What else do we have here? We have Darius Gaiden for 1,900 yen. That's an awesome shooter. Definitely highly recommend that one. What else do we have? We have Tomb Raiders for 700 yen. I actually picked that up. A little bit of a guilty pleasure, but I do like the Saturn version. And then we have Baku Baku for 900 yen. I didn't pick this one up, but I've been looking for it for quite some time. But I kind of blew my budget, and I was looking for other games because on this specific occasion, I went to many game stores. So definitely keep a lookout. Those videos will be dropping soon. And then we have Gradius Deluxe Pack there. Then we got Vampire Savior, an Ultraman game. And look at this, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, 300 yen. It doesn't include the 4MB RAM cart, but who cares? 3,200 yen for the Street Fighter collection. And then look at the beautiful cover to Side Pocket 2. I'm definitely not into like billiards video games. And then we have Anarchy and Nippon for 1,800 yen. But that Side Pocket 2, beautiful cover. And then here we go. Let's make our way into some PC Engine titles. Now, the PC Engine offerings outside of the case, actually, whether in the case or out in the aisles, there wasn't too much. But of course, I didn't really dig too deep. Actually, now that I look at the footage, there is quite a bit. But what do we have here? We got the arcade card for 5,500 yen. That's not too bad of a price there. Not really sure what that is, but I'm suspecting it's some kind of RPG. And then look at this. I believe this is the controller. Look at this funky looking controller for 1,500 yen. Now, the Mega CD selection was actually pretty good too. It was even smaller than the PC Engine stuff, but there's some decent prices. Not this one, the Ninja Warriors. Oh, that's a cool game. But this one, Nobunaga and his Ninja Force, 3,500 yen. Usually when I see this game, it's between 7,000 and 9,000 yen. So that was definitely a nice surprise. And in hindsight, I should have picked that one up. But I do have it loose. It was in one of the junk Mega CDs that I bought. And then we have Sonic the Hedgehog CD for 3,200 yen. This one is normally like about 5,000 yen. So that's also a great price on that one. And then we have Starblade for 2,700 yen. I definitely want to pick this one up sometime in the future. I do like the soundtrack to all Starblade there. And then we have, what is this? Switch? I've heard of that one before, but I haven't played it. And then here we go, Neo Geo CD titles. They had a little bit of everything in this aisle. This is a legendary aisle. We got Art of Fighting 3 for 2,300 yen. This is a fighting game with pre-rendered graphics next to Samurai Spirits RPG for 2,000 yen. It's a shame this didn't get a Western release, as I would like to try that one. Then we have Dunk Dream for 4,700 yen. We got some soccer action there. And then Real Bout 2, The Newcomers, for 6,000 yen. And then they have Part 1 there for 3,100 yen, or special. And both of those have amazing arranged soundtracks. And then we got Flying Power Disc for 6,100 yen. This one also got a release on the Switch, PS4, and I believe the Vita even. Then we have Puzzle Bobble for 4,000 yen. And then we have some Power something. And then we have Super Street Fighter 2X for 1,400 yen. I do love this conversion on the 3DO. But anyhow, let's take a look at some hardware here. We got an original Xbox for 8,000 yen next to the Saturn Flight Stick. And look at this Famicom Disk System, 1,600 yen. It's definitely going to need a belt replacement, but that's fairly easy to do. We got a Wii in the box, a Mega Drive 2 for 7,800 yen, and then another PS2 in the box there for 8,500. Now let's take a look at another display case. We got some 360 action for 9,000 yen with the Connect, or it does have a little note there, so there could be an issue. We got the Saturn 3D pad for 3,000 yen, and that's fairly clean, and I do like the color scheme there. Although the North American version is all black, and that one is actually also prime time stuff. And then we got the Mega Drive Mini there. We got the Retro Freak Basic for 14,200 yen. And then we have an assortment of memory cards for the PS1, PS2. What else do we have? Neo Geo mini pads for 1,800 yen. Go to Gale. Those are under 1,000 yen currently. And then we have the Nakuroru Neo Geo Mini, which wasn't too bad of a price there. And then we have the Series S for 27,500 yen. We got some PS4 stuff. We got the vertical stand there. And another PlayStation 4. And then down below, we got a PS5. And then here we go for the DS. We got some Pokemon action there. Quite a bit of Pokemon. Look at that. A lot of Pokemon, actually. And then we have the Sega 3D collection. But this is only volumes 1 and 2 for 11,800 yen. And then we got the Konami Arcade collection for 6,600. And look at that. All 3 Castlevanias. We got Donosaro, Portrait of Ruin, and then Order of Ecclesia. And then a Romanesque something. Now, there's going to be a number of games that I haven't seen before. Like that train simulator. Look at that, 9,400 yen. But they have another one, which we'll see soon. And then we have this shooting collection, which includes Shinryu, or Shinrei, something like that. But here we go. I've seen these two before, but this train simulator game, 8,300 yen. I've never seen that before, and I've seen quite a bit of train simulator games. Not that I'm a fan of them, but they're just so common, you know? And we got some 360 titles, some PlayStation 2 goodness. We got the Metal Slug Complete Collection for 5,900 yen for the Wii. And then the PSP game on the left for 8,000 yen. I haven't seen that one before. Ultraman 3. And then that 360, something massive. Never seen that. And that's 12,000 yen. So not cheap there. What do we have here? This Agent Pack Code Silver. It's a mouthful. And some 360 titles. And what else do we have? The Saikyo Shooting Library Volume 1 for 6,100 yen. Look at the packaging there. It's just like a cardboard with a sticker. We got Metroid Dread for 5,600 yen. And it says 10% something there. But we got a 3DO with 2 game pads for 14,000 yen. That's actually not too bad of a price there for the FZ10. We got a Wonder Swan Color there for 9,000. We got a cube in the box for 8,000 yen, and it has a number of notes, probably just detailing the little bits of damage that it has. A Neo Geo CD for 19,000 yen. Next to that, we got a Duo for 40,000 yen. Now, if you look carefully, it is a little bit rough looking, but I guess it does include the box. So if that's important to you, there you go. And then we got an Advance there for 9,500 yen and some big red markings there on the label. Now 8,800 yen for that SP, that's not actually too bad. 20,000 there for the Micro, and then we have another SP for 45,000 yen. But guys, that's going to be it for this episode. There's definitely going to be a lot more to come. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, there's definitely there's going to be some pretty good stuff along the way. But anyhow, we'll see you soon. Ciao.